Listen, God always was. Before time was, God is. So God is not bound, or he is not limited by what our concept of time might be. So we're living in a world really of instant gratification that's often expected. And waiting can sometimes be the most challenging aspect. Sometimes we think, well, God didn't do this on time, so He's not going to do it. But we see in the Bible that delay doesn't necessarily mean denial. God's timing is different from our own. Like I said, God is not bound by time itself. His plans unfold according to His divine schedule, and so that, just like, think about this: Abraham and Sarah, they were the promise was spoken to them, but it didn't manifest itself immediately. They were 90. Sarah was 90. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. And if you remember the story, what did they try to do? They tried to push God's timing. They tried to push the promise, and Abraham ended up getting with their helpmate, and had a child with her named Ishmael. But Ishmael was not the promised seed. So remember that you don't always want to do something that's going to force what God has spoken. What God has spoken, God's going to do, but He's going to do it on His own timing, not our own, and that's hard and difficult for us to accept sometimes. Well, what about Joseph being sold into slavery? Remember, he had that dream that his brothers were bowing down for him. He was going to somehow be ruler over him. And that didn't work out too well at the moment. It made his brothers mad. They ended up selling him into slavery. And years later, in slavery, Joseph rose to become second commander in Egypt under Pharaoh. And that provided a way for him to save his own family and the nation from famine. But it didn't happen immediately. It didn't happen when he dreamed that dream. It didn't happen the next day.